Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the 7th part of What If Deku had the Quirk efficient. There's nothing much I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video. I just wanted to take out the whole all for one stealing his power thing since you guys told me it isn't possible. I'll just say that Deku's body withered from the abuse of his quirk. Deku has a main task after the event with All for One, which is recovery. In the dorm competition, once they look at Izuku's room, it is clustered with posters of himself and All Might. Deku is definitely the most popular person in UA right now, so he's actually getting posters of himself across Japan. He also has several ice packs across his room. Once people see that, they get pretty sorry for him since he has to do so much to try and get back to his normal strength again. At Gym Gamma, everyone trains their quirks and super moves. Deku's super move is now inaccessible to him, and because of this he has to create a weaker move. He creates the concentrated strike. He concentrates the first physical enhancement and zooms forward to pick up speed. Once he does this, he controls the first physical enhancement into his arm and does a powerful punch. He continues training this attack as the days go by. He can now run at 85 miles per hour without any enhancements instead of 75 miles per hour from right before the training. When I mean before the training, I mean like just as soon as he got out of hospital. That's how fast he was going at that time. Deku has to work out and everything now to get his speed back as fast as possible. When the rock comes tumbling down to All Might in Gym Gamma, Deku leaps up several meters in the air and uses his super move. The rock shatters and zooms in the opposite direction. This time, Deku doesn't ask Mei for a new suit or anything because he wants to advance with his own body as fast as possible. When everyone is in their dorm, Deku is training hard. He says, "Why did it have to be me? I should have just left when my friends told me to." He bangs the floor, then causes a huge crack. Deku stands up and says, "I'm getting stronger." After some days of training, Class 1A arrive at the Takaba National Stadium. Deku isn't really scared of the other people, but he will need to use as much power as he can. And Nasa comes over and does his whole weird thing as usual. Todoroki then says everything about how strong he is and how he declined the offer into UA. Shindo, instead of trying to greet 1A, is quick to get Deku's signature. Deku gives him his signature and he says, "Thank you, Limelight." Deku says, "Anytime." Now let's get into the first exam. Deku still decides for 1A to stay together, but he says for everyone to keep significant distance. He says this so people can use their quirks to the best ability, but he still says for people to stay close enough where they can save each other from danger. As the balls start coming in, Deku gets flashes of his second physical enhancement and how he could have easily deterred the balls of the wind. Because of this, he almost gets hit and Uraraka is forced to save Deku. Deku snaps back into reality and literally catches every single ball that comes in his direction. He throws them forward and he then begins using 5% one for all to speed things up slightly. The hardened balls from Makabe go underground and Kyoka uses heartbeat distortion to destroy the ground. Deku smirks and leaps up into the air and knocks away several hardened balls. The rest of 1A use their quirks to protect themselves from the rest of the balls. After Shindo starts causing the ground to tremor, Deku sees a ball zoom at him. He catches the ball and throws it right at Kami, easily causing a target to light up. Deku then launches one of his other balls and it hits another target. Deku is able to zoom forward, dodge a ball throw and kick her in the stomach relatively hard. Kami flies off her feet and disappears. Deku looks around at super speed to the point where wind comes off of him and he sees nothing. Kami appears behind him and the ball is thrown at a target. Deku turns and catches the ball without even looking. His one for all fades and he controls the first physical enhancement into his arm and throws the ball so fast Kami isn't even able to move in time. Deku then sees webs come from the ground, so he controls one for all into his legs and he zooms away and dodges incoming balls. Deku catches several balls and throws them back at the different people he sees. He eliminates 3 different people in the process and catches a ball which he keeps and jumps away. This means Deku has passed the exam. Deku's targets light up and he makes his way to the waiting room. Deku has passed the exam without receiving a single hit target. Deku meets Todoroki there and after a while Bakugo passes too. Bakugo says, "So you passed, Deku." Deku says, "Yep, and you did too." Bakugo says, "Of course I did." Kami waves at Deku and Deku just waves back. Bakugo says, "Who's that?" Deku says, "Just a fan probably." It doesn't make sense though. Why would she try to fight me alone, knowing of my strength and speed? Pretty much every single ball throw I was able to catch with ease. It doesn't make sense. Bakugo says, "Just lay it off, nerd. She's just a student." I know Deku kind of just left his friends there. He just got as many people as he could out and just left. But Deku's questioning if his quirk is good enough for him to still do whatever he wants. With his old power, all the versatile and unique quirks didn't matter to him because he could easily just overpower anyone he wanted with sheer speed and strength. Maybe he'll have to use his intelligence again to overcome these situations. Deku doesn't want to do that, not because he's not intelligent. Deku is intelligent. It's just that he's not used to using his intelligence in fighting. If he ends up having to do something that he isn't used to, that can make him lose, and that is something he is most scared of. For the final phase of the exam, Deku is definitely able to use his popularity and intelligence to save several people. Deku sees the first child and quickly examines his body. He comforts the kid who says that his grandpa has been crushed. He also uses his heroic personality to gain more popularity and points. He goes through using the same strategy in this phase. Deku destroys objects trapping victims with his powerful punches and kicks. As Gang Orca appears, Deku is quick to fight the goons. Deku uses 12% of One For All, and now his top speed is about 270 miles per hour. Deku punches one goon in the stomach and his impact severely injures him. He spins over that goon, then starts taking them down one by one. Deku starts dodging streams of concrete from the goons, and Deku takes some concrete on purpose. This hardens his hand and he punches several following goons. Deku then follows by rescuing others as Inasa and Todoroki fight Gang Orca directly. As the bickering between Todoroki and Inasa continues, Deku saves Shindo from the fire and says, "What are you both doing?" Deku turns and zooms past the fire and wind. He leaps up and kicks Gang Orca in the chest. Gang Orca says, "You've gotten weaker. You possess this sort of power without any enhancements not too long ago." Deku dodges a fire wave, then gets hit with supersonic waves. He goes flying back and Deku says, "Both work together. Blaze the waves with your wind, Inasa." Inasa says, "No." Deku says, "You won't win if you don't work together." "I can't get close to him. My quirk doesn't work in this setting." Deku then controls One For All into his finger and finger flicks at Gang Orca. As this happens, Deku zooms forward and lands another punch to his stomach, which knocks him back a bit. Before Gang Orca can use his supersonic waves, Deku launches 2 One For All finger flicks. Deku shouts, "Now!" Todoroki and Inasa launch a wave of blazing fire. Deku zooms to the side and leaps backwards to Inasa and Todoroki's side. As the fire dies down, they notice some burns on Gang Orca. Gang Orca says, "You three are quite strong, aren't you? It is not enough though." As Gang Orca is about to use the supersonic waves, Bakugo comes in and uses the AP bullet. It zooms past all 3 of the students and it hits Gang Orca right in the abdomen. It actually causes him to bleed and he says, "Huh?" Bakugo says, "You forgot about me." He launches a bunch of explosions in mid-air, causing a cluster of smoke. Deku then zooms through the smoke and leaves Gang Orca unable to react in time. Deku kicks him in the chest, then leaps up. Bakugo follows with another AP bullet, which penetrates Gang Orca's skin again. Bakugo comes in close, and Deku and Bakugo both use a combined punch. Gang Orca flies back about 3 meters, so not too much, and lands on his back. He flips up to his feet and clearly shows he has been injured. As soon as Gang Orca is about to use his supersonic waves, the exam finishes and all of the Helper's Company members have been rescued. Bakugo has actually passed the exam since he managed to put his anger aside and actually help rescue people. Todoroki didn't pass though. As you can see, Deku's influence has only helped Bakugo for the better and he is a much more powerful and likable hero. Once they are in their dorms again, Bakugo challenges Deku to a spar. They make their way to a hidden area and Deku says, "You want to face me again?" Bakugo says, "Yes, I believe I can beat you." Deku's lightning trickles around his body and Bakugo clenches his fists. Deku zooms and punches Bakugo away. Bakugo grasps his arm in pain and thinks he's still super strong. Bakugo launches an explosion, then uses explosions to leap up to a building. Deku leaps up and tries to kick Bakugo, but Bakugo jumps and explodes off and above Deku. Bakugo flips over him and uses the AP bullet from behind. Deku slams into the building wall and gets a deep wound in his back. He leaps down and Bakugo uses his explosions to soften the fall. Bakugo launches a massive explosions to cause smoke and Deku zooms right through. Bakugo is then able to land another AP bullet before landing a major explosion close to his body. Deku flies back and as the smoke fades, Deku stands and says, "How?" Bakugo says, "Predictability." Deku says, "Now just be so fast so that doesn't matter." Deku uses 13.5% of One For All and zooms at Bakugo. As soon as Bakugo is about to predict his attack, Deku leaps up and kicks him in the head. Bakugo flies back but uses his explosions to soften the impact into a building wall. Deku then zooms at him and prepares a punch. Bakugo's hands glow golden as he prepares the double AP bullet. Deku lands the punch but the 2 AP bullets swivel around each other and send Deku flying back. It explodes and Deku flies into a building. Deku spits blood and Bakugo grabs his head in pain. Deku says, okay, a tie. Bakugo smirks and says, that's all I need. I won't accept the win until you are back to your full strength. Deku stands and his wounds start to heal quite quickly. All Might then arrives and says, what happened? Deku says, Bakugo's gotten stronger, that's what's happened. All Might says, why are you both out here? Deku says, we wanted to spar. All Might sighs and says, you're not allowed out here. I know you two are the strongest of 1A, maybe even the strongest first years in the nation. Just because you are the strongest doesn't mean you get to bypass the rules. Deku says, okay, I'm sorry. Bakugo says, you won't be first for long, Deku. Deku says, yeah, right, Katchan. All Might actually manages to call off the house arrest since he explained that they were just trying to spar and didn't really understand the rules. So that will conclude the 7th part of What If Deku had the Quirk efficient. I hope you guys have enjoyed this What If so far, because there is way more to come. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.